Hello, my name is Barbara Elvira Hokkanen, and this is Angel Talks. And it is 3:35 a.m. on March, January, February, March. Is it really the 4th of March? January, February, March. It's the 4th of March. It's actually March 4th. March 4th. Onward, Christian soldiers, marching on to war, with the cross of Jesus going on before. Just clearing my throat here. I've made some notes here that I wanted to talk about. Right. Okay. The question: how fucking dumb are you to believe? Who said to believe what? Dumb are you to believe what? And who said to believe that? Who is it that told you all this about Jesus? Wasn't it a priest? A priest told you that. And if a priest told you to then look at the top, like how would he know anything about somebody 2,000 years ago? Like, don't you see that whoever started that was not that long ago, that we actually know it? Because who told you that? Obviously somebody wrote a book. And like, do you understand? It's a story by some man. Of course there's stories by man. And they got, I've written down here, they got a solid gold Jesus on a cross. Well, you know they got how many in the Vatican or around the world have the solid gold Jesus on a cross? The suffering that they're freeze framing, the suffering, the horrific part. They would say it's the sacrifice. That was the death. It was the sacrifice. But I'm telling you, there's no spirit of X amount of years ago that had to have died for you to get some kind of into your eternity. Your eternity is whatever your eternity is going to be. And if you want to pledge allegiance to a spirit from ago, then that's what you want to do. But I'm saying, where is that story coming from? And who is saying that? What are the priests? What God, I have written here, what God would give man the sex urge and then say to his priest that you must abstain from sex. So they're strictly talking about man. They're not talking about God. These aren't like, God would never say to man, don't have sex. God would never say that. I know that. I know God is the one who created us, and he would never torture us. God would never torture us. It's ourselves that torture ourselves. And I don't know if, like in some people's minds, I guess they're tortured or whatever, but maybe, I don't know. I guess that's what it is. Some people have tortured minds. But I believe that God wants peace and happiness and joy. And how do I get that? It's by thinking about God and communicating with God as an absolute, complete, right with me, everything I do and say, in my mind and in my heart, is totally linked to God being absolutely with me and in me. Like, God would never say to abstain from sex. It's a nymphomaniac is much more in tune with God than somebody who's celibate for religious reasons. Religious reasons? Like, why would, like, that is the fundamental urge, is to procreate. And if you hold that urge back, it just makes you want it more. So then you start deviating. And we have seen what has happened with the Catholic Church. That is what they are. They're a society of pedophiles and sexual deviants. I would say that's really what it is, because think of it. I saw a movie. Yeah, it was a movie called The Holding. It was a British movie. And the guy Aidan, who was the main guy in the movie, he heard a confession from a very deviant man, and it made him seek out the woman who the guy had abused, and actually then, like, take it out on her like 10 times more. And it's just like, that's what happened when one guy confessed to another guy. Can you imagine priests who are celibate hearing confessions of every single person in the fucking church over and over and over, year after year, every day? It's like, come on. Do you really think you can go without something going crazy? I mean, psychiatrists, they have to hear a lot of garbage. But the priest, and he's celibate on top of it. So can you see how completely ridiculous that is? It's just like, take it right to the top. I think you can tell that it is completely preposterous, and what God has made them channel into is what they're wearing. Do you really think that God, who gives us this world of fabric and color and beauty, wants to see somebody wearing the same black thing with a white collar all the time. Now, wouldn't that make it a little bit crazy? Having to see that all the time? And they wear the cross around her neck. That is the object of torture and abuse. Jesus was murdered. So that's the murder weapon or whatever was the cross. And the nails, just however they say it is. It is just completely crazy. Completely crazy. That's right. Do you think, in all, like, let's be reasonable here. Do you think that a God who made us with our urges and our habits and our likes and dislikes would give us this earth? And I tell you this much, God gave us this earth. God gave us this earth. We can do anything we want on this earth. We can do anything we want. It's only man's laws that stop us. But do you think God would give us every plant on this earth, which he has, would give us pot, marijuana, and then decree that we wouldn't be able to smoke it, or eat it, or get high from it? Can you see how the law is completely an infringement of my God-given right to do exactly what I want with any single substance on this earth, for that matter? So we have this whole ideology of war on drugs. I don't know who the hell coined that phrase, but they should be shot and pissed on. They're dead now, but they should be shot and pissed on in the afterlife for putting us into this war on drugs. You people are fucking crazy. I am allowed to ingest anything that I want to, be it cocaine, salt, sugar, or fucking cyanide. I can take anything that I want, anything on this earth. And there is no law on this earth that is justified in stopping me from doing anything I want to do. It is cocaine. You're going to tell me I can't put something up my nose? Here's some salt. I'm putting it up my nose. Is it your business? But if it was cocaine, there would be a law against it. Can you see how? Why? I think I'm gonna I have to blow my nose. But what I am going to do, if you observe and we will get to our random pair. But this is what I had thought out here. But behold and look for it. David Bradley, Kirsten Waring, the lady was perfection, even with her plumped up lips, overly plumped up lips. Story, I think, by James Dormer. I think that's the whole thing. I think that's what it was. I have notations there. Let's get a grinder here. We get a grinder and a lighter. A grinder. The Jamaican flag, I think. There's no pot on it, but there's no pot leaf on the Jamaican flag, but they might as well put one. Why not? this paper here. And we're just going to move this aside here. Oh, I don't think we need the grinder. We have this right here. We don't need the grinder right here. I'm just picking from here. It's just religion. You have to understand what religion is. Religion is mind control, action control, and money control. That's what it is. That's what religion is. It's mind control, action control, and money control. Well, without question, religion is a club. You join a club and you gotta wear something. And if it's like Buddhism, well, you gotta wear the orange suit. I think that's Buddhist, or peach suit. Buddhist maybe, I don't know. Buddhist monk, do they wear that? I don't know. Hare Krishna, anything. If it's Baptist, you gotta wear a nice outfit every Sunday, a different outfit. Or you're shunned. The pressure of going to church, I know because I went to church. I was raised going to a Christian church. And the pressure to get the outfit every week, nobody's thinking about God. They're all thinking about what the next outfit and what Mr. and Mrs. Doohickey are wearing and what their kids are wearing. Yeah, I guarantee you that. I guarantee you that. And there are more affairs going on than you can shake a stick at. So, celibate. What in the world? Completely ridiculous celibacy. Absolutely fucking ridiculous. And I tell you this much. It is just equally as ridiculous to say that God is against homosexuals. God is not against homosexuals. God gave us feeling and feelings. Our feelings are from God. So if God made you to feel that you want to rub up against Johnny instead of Becky, that's what God gave you those feelings for, so you do it, man. Don't deny it, or you're going to freak out spurt out in some other freakish way, and you're going to become a pedophile or a rapist or a whatever. So I'm just venting here as I'm smoking. Every time I look at a car ad, I think, are they fucking crazy? This much room between you and death or grievous injury. This much, only this much room. This much. Not even as wide as I am, I'll be sure as that. Not even as wide as I am is the protection you have between you and is it protection? No, it's anything that would stab you in the worst possible way. Glass, slice you open like a can, and a can to slice you open like a piece of tube. So, car design is completely, like, it is so wrong of a design, it's not even funny. It's a fucking travesty. It is a fucking goddamn travesty. Just like the Catholic Church and the Christian Church. They want to steal children and take them away from their families. Those old Christian schools that took from the native people robbed their children from the families and took them into and forced them into schools. And what they've done all around the world, infiltrating where they had no business to go in there. No business going in there, bringing their horrendous ideas to people who are completely unconnected to that. You know why North Americans got the story of Jesus? They thought there's no way they're going to be able to confirm any of the shit that we're saying, because we're having it on the other side of the world to a whole other group of people. So we can say that, oh yeah, he's from Jerusalem, because they're never going to be able to confirm any of it. But now the world is this big. The world is this big. We see around everywhere. We see around everywhere. And now we can say, okay, there's no way a story from that region ever survived 2000. We don't even know what specific date, so you know it's complete fucking garbage. Complete fucking garbage. Christianity, control the mind, control the action, control the money. Every time you walk into church, they're the offering plate. Come on, put the money in, 10% every month, come on. You have to give it, otherwise you'll be cursed. But it's a club. You have to pay your dues. You want to go there, you gotta pay the piper. Pay the organist. The organizer and the organist. Okay. Let's move this beautiful, beautiful weed up here. You still want to get a look at that? You still want to see that? I don't think we'll be able to, but we'll try. No, we won't be able to. And what else is a pet peeve? So the car design is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And the money they charge for those death traps, I have said it, I'll say it again, they are the equivalent of us driving in a car, is the equivalent of mice driving around in a mousetrap that's flaming, a flaming mousetrap. Mice driving around in a flaming mousetrap. Does anybody listen to this shit? I don't know. It's important shit. But like really, like let's just change the design of cars. Like completely start from scratch one. Start from scratch one. Okay, the date is, well the time is 3:58 a.m. March 4th, 2019. We're going to pick the random word. I'm just going to pop this down here. Random pick word. You can see there's nothing. Nothing like that pointed out. Something like this. Right hand. And I'm going to turn off the heat here. It's going to be a little bit quieter. Not going to lie. Like this and this. Okay. Give this man your seat, then humiliated. Oh God, the word is humiliated. You will have to take the least important place. Oh. But when you are invited, take the lowest place, so that when your host comes, he will say to you, friend, Move up to a better place. Then you will be honored in the presence of all your fellow guests. For everyone who exalts himself will be humbled, and he who humbles himself will be exalted. Humiliated. Oh, God. This is Jesus. Like, come on. Yeah, I have to write it down. That's what I picked. That's Jesus talking. And it is Luke. Luke 14. Give this man your seat. Then humiliated, you will have to take the least important place. I don't ask for any place, actually. I'm not asking for anything, I'm just trying to eliminate. So it is 14. 9. 14, 9. Okay. Jesus at a Pharisee's house. Jesus at a Pharisee's house. So I'll read this. One Sabbath, when Jesus went to eat in the house of a prominent Pharisee, he was being carefully watched. There in front of him was a man suffering from dropsy. Jesus asked the Pharisees and experts in the law, "Is it lawful to heal on the Sabbath or not?" But they were remaining silent, so taking hold of the man, he healed him and sent him away. Then he asked them, "If one of you has a son or an ox that falls into a well on the Sabbath day, will you not immediately pull him out?" And they had nothing to say. When he noticed how the guests picked the places of honor at the table, he told them this parable. When someone invites you to a wedding feast, do not take the place of honor, for a person more distinguished than you may have been invited. If so, the host who invited both of you will come and say to you, "Give this man your seat." Then, humiliated, you will have to take the place of least importance. Will have to take the least important place. Okay, I better read that again. If so, the host who invited both of you will come and say to you, "Give this man your seat." Then, humiliated, you will have to take the least important place. But when you are invited, take the lowest place, so that when your host comes, he will say to you, "Friend, move up to a better place." Then you will be honored in the presence of all your fellow guests. For everyone who exalts himself will be humbled, and he who humbles himself will be exalted. Then Jesus said to his host, "When you give a luncheon or dinner, do not invite your friends or brothers or relatives or your rich neighbors. If you do, they may invite you back, and so you will have been repaid. But when you give a banquet, invite the poor, the crippled, the lame, the blind, and you will be blessed. Although they cannot repay you, you will be repaid at the resurrection of the righteous." What can I say about this? I've read all these words. Like this, like Jesus, like Buddy comes in and he has some disease. They have Jesus just healing people left, right, and center. I guess doctors heal. Doctors heal. But like a disease like that, it's just, you have to understand that this is just written by some guy sat down and wrote this. Anyway, I definitely, I'm just trying to illuminate. Okay, guys, that's good. And let's smoke a little bit more, and then we'll do a left hand random pick. I had that joint here, just finish this. What else is on my mind? So, do you really think the Pharisees of the the teachers of the law, like what law? What law? Let's be honest. Let's be honest. I don't know what Judaism is, but I have a feeling that what I've heard is that there are a lot of laws, that you have to do a lot of things. Now, do you actually think that a God that made a human being to be able to smell and eat and feel, that God would put laws on us against doing things? Don't you think God would let us have the free reign of all this earth? Like, why would he mean that you would have to not do this and not do that? So you can see from my point of view, as I am completely with God, in and out, totally, I am from God. God told me I'm an angel, and I've been living it ever since and communicating with God completely and totally all my life. Do you really think that God would have you doing all those, jumping through those hoops? Of course, fucking not. Free yourself from all that bondage, that mental action bondage. Like, really, I would love to just have an overview of these different religions, and I would be able to tell you what is actually going on. And I have a feeling there's a lot of bullshit that man is inflicting on other man just because they, for some reason, have the ear of the people. They got the ear of the people. How? What is the first person that started saying these things? Was he not just a man? And do you really think God sat down and wrote out rules? The only thing God gave us is a heart and a soul and vision and taste and hearing. And God didn't put any shackles on us, didn't make us wear anything in particular. It's only man that does that. We get to wear whatever the hell we want. Anything we want to wear. Look at this. This is what I'm wearing. You can't really see, but this is what I'm wearing. Because it's cold outside. It's cold. Okay, left hand random bit. I'll just write this down. This pen. Left hand random bit. not not and a little bit unbelieve, not believe. Excuse me. Not believe. So we have, it's Titus. Titus. Titus 1:15. Titus 1:15. And I'll read the verse. To the pure all things are pure, but to those who are corrupted and do not believe, nothing is pure. In fact, both their minds and their consciences are corrupted. They claim to know God, but their actions they deny him. They are detestable, disobedient, and unfit for doing anything good. Now, I would say I am purely a creature of God. Purely a creature of God. Really pure to God. Like, I am not perfect. I don't adhere to the laws really by fear or anything like that. I just do what I want. I've never killed anybody, never raped anybody, never done anything. Well, you know, as I've said, my two manias. My two manias, nymphomaniac and mania that I feel I'm being spied on and filmed. And then I'm a kleptomaniac. Anyways, let's read Titus' task on Crete. Oh, come on. The reason I left you in Crete was that you might straighten out what was left unfinished and appoint elders in every town as I directed you. An elder must be blameless, the husband of but one wife, a man whose children believe and are not open to the charge of being wild and disobedient. Since an overseer is entrusted with God's work, he must be blameless, not overbearing, not quick-tempered, not given to drunkenness, not violent, but not pursuing dishonest gain. Rather, he must be hospitable, one who loves what is good, who is self-controlled, upright, holy, and disciplined. He must hold firmly to the trustworthy message as it has been taught, so that he can encourage others by sound doctrine and refute those who oppose it. For there are many rebellious people, mere talkers and deceivers, especially those of the circumcision group. They must be silenced because they are ruining whole household by teaching things they ought not to teach, and that for the sake of dishonest gain. Even one of their prophets has said, Cretans are always liars, evil brutes, lazy, gluttonous. This testimony is true, therefore rebuke them sharply so that they will be sound in their faith and will pay no attention to Jewish myths or to the commands of those who reject the truth. To the pure all things are pure, but to those who are corrupted and do not believe, nothing is pure. In fact, both their minds and consciences are corrupted. They claim to know God, but by their actions they deny him. They are detestable, disobedient, unfit for doing anything good. Well, you can hear this is all control. Like they're just like they're looking to they're looking to make stewards. An elder must be blameless. But who is blameless? Who is, like, we all have the same instincts and desires and feelings. There isn't anybody who's different. We all feel the same things and go through the same things. So anybody's, like, to have to live according to this, it just begs to fall away from it. Begs to, because who can live up to all this? Like, everybody has their own, like, Cretans are always liars, evil brutes, lazy, gluttonous. I mean, Jesus Christ, this testimony is true. That's what it says here. Therefore, rebuke them sharply. Fuck, everybody is an evil brute by times. Everybody's by times lazy and gluttonous. Everybody's the same. We are all the same. So saying Cretans are, I'm telling you that religion, any religion, is mind control. I say let your mind be free. Don't, the only thing you should be having in your mind is not a bunch of rules made by man, but connect with God. What would you like me to do right now? Would you like me to clean up, or would you like me to do a drawing? Like, I've been heavy drawing and writing, a journal and drawing from my soul, from God to my hands. I'm not a social person, so I'm not going to be getting into groups and discussing things with people, because I don't really want to talk to anybody, because I've lived my life of meeting people and traveling and things like that. I'm a recluse now. But I try to do what is right. I don't always do it. But keep in mind, religion is mind control, action control. What do you want to do with your time and your body and your mind? What do you want to spend your time thinking about? And I'm sure there are priests that are maybe nice guys, but if they're celibate, you know they're lying. So a lot of priests are not celibate, even though they claim to take vows of celibacy. So any priest who is celibate is either a liar or there's something wrong with him sexually, mentally. And let him hear confessions. It's spelling disaster. So all you have to do is look at the church. Do you think God really, really, really wants all these solid gold crucifixes with Jesus on them when there are mothers and children starving within their jurisdiction or whatever, and they got the big solid gold cross? And I wonder about the assets of the Catholic Church, like what's really the situation? What's really the situation? Mind control? Action control? And I could say that was fun. Thank you, and that's all for now.